Let's start recording. And well, welcome. First of all, apologies on all the confusion on the emails. There was my system didn't update basically to the fact that now we don't have summertime time zone in Mexico, so it all came a little bit earlier. But we're here, and whoever joins is exactly the people who are supposed to join, and if not, everyone else will be able to join at a later session. So I'm so excited to get to spend some time with you and to see some familiar faces like Veronica and Lisa. And well, today I'm so excited because I was just like feeling like I wanted to give some teaching sessions again, teach some valuable information when it comes about retreats. And out of the spur of the moment, I launched this webinar, this masterclass, because I was just really like I was hungry to teach more. We just finished our program, How to Price and Sell Your Retreats, and I really enjoyed teaching sessions. And it's something that I am so passionate about, just like sharing knowledge with other people. And I was feeling this, like, that something was missing. I was like, oh my gosh, what's happening to my morning sessions? So I was like, let me just do a free call for everyone who wants to join and be part of this. So first of all, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to be talking about creating a retreat business. And we're really going to go down into the big information that we need to learn about retreat business and what are the differences and everything. But first, I would like to invite you to take 3 deep breaths and really release everything, with a big sigh, so we can really be very present in this call and get the most out of it. So I'm gonna inhale, and then I'm gonna exhale, and I'm gonna inhale again and exhale again. And when I inhale one last time, just bringing everything out. I don't know about you, but I feel so much better already. There is research actually that says that sighing 3 times has the same benefits as meditating for 5 minutes. So it's absolutely beautiful, and it's a great practice, to just really get everything out there and to balance our nervous system. So it's something that is very important, and I love doing it. So thank you for joining me here. And now that we're moving into the juicy information when it comes about crafting a retreat business, first I want to start by pointing out that there are 2 different ways to do this, right? And there are, of course, many other ways that you can find, but basically we need to consider, how do you see retreats in your business, and in what direction do you see that, right? So are retreats for you an add-on to your offering? So let's say you're a coach and then you offer retreats for your clients and other people, right? And the other option when it comes to really crafting a retreat business, right, like where retreats are your main core offering, is the way people get through your door is through retreats. Then they might buy a program with you, a private program. It's called a back end offering, but it is like that, right? So either how do people walk through the door into your business really shifts the way you do things, right? Like the whole business logistics behind it, it's something completely different, right? Because instead of doing marketing for, let's say, your programs like online courses or private sessions or in-person sessions, you are focusing on selling retreats. And then you need to think in the way, how do you scale this, and how do you create this loyalty so people keep coming back and back and back and back into your retreats? I don't know if this makes sense. So anyway, because we are talking about this, I just want to rephrase. So you have a door. You need to think which is the door, how does this door look like when it comes to your clients accessing you, right? Which door do they cross by? And now we're going to focus and talk about if people are crossing the door by retreats, right? Like retreats are your main offering, right? The main thing that you're offering, because I think this is something that a lot of people are looking forward to move into, right? Where retreats are really the place where people find them. You know, they're known for hosting retreats. It doesn't mean they don't do anything else, right? But it's all about the part of like is it a core thing or is it just like once-off thing? Okay, so I'm gonna give you I'm getting excited now. So I'm gonna give you an example. For example, a yoga teacher, right? So a yoga teacher usually will have his classes on the studio or her classes in the studio and have private clients. And then from there, then they decide, well, I have so many students. Now I'm gonna run a retreat every 3 months, 6 months, once a year, because they have the audience based on their clientele already for this, right? So it's an add-on offering. So it's a supplement to their core business. When you build a retreat business, your core business is people going into your retreats. And then from there, they can buy your yoga classes, for example, right? They can buy your online program where you teach different asanas and whatnot, right? Staying in the same example of yoga. I hope this makes sense in the way of like, how does it work when you want to do one or the other? Because it is quite a different beast. The reality is that you are focused mainly on digital programs and most of your clients are digital, and you want to move into this like retreat space. It's absolutely possible, and it doesn't need to be a change in one day, right? You don't need to like now go and book 12 retreat venues so every month you have a retreat. That's not the point of this conversation, right? I'm not saying that, but I do want to talk about the core things that are very necessary when you want to bring a bigger focus into your retreats and you want to do them constantly, right? When you want to do 3, 4, 5 retreats a year, you want to do private retreats in your house, right? You want to make sure that you have this continuity. And then from here, I'm going to take you into my like favorite topic, that it's loyalty marketing, right? I love loyalty marketing. And I don't know if you implemented some loyalty marketing into your space before, or if it's something that you know what it is. You can tell me if someone hasn't really heard of loyalty marketing in the past, because I'll be happy to go a little bit more in detail when it comes to this, right? So, all right. Because we are going to be moving into the place of loyalty marketing. Would love more detail. Okay, of course, Veronica. That's not what I'm here for. So I'm so excited again to be in this space and and share with you, right? So we're gonna be moving and talking about loyalty marketing in just a second, but I just want to be like very I just felt very grateful for a second, so I want to honor that. So it's so exciting to be able to have your core offering as retreats, right? Or one of your main offerings, right? Just not something that is like happens sometimes here and there. It's something that is more current. It takes more time. It just really goes in, like it's something that you want to continue nurturing and growing and taking it to the next level. So because we are doing that, we are going to be talking about the things that need to be there. So if you are building a retreat business, the main thing is, first of all, you do need to select between 2 options. Like later on, you can have a hybrid. That's perfectly fine. You will understand what I'm talking about right in a second. But basically, what you need to have is you need to have this space where you need to select if your retreats are going to be local or they're going to be international. When you're building a retreat business and you want to create more retreats and more offerings, the easiest way, I'm not saying it's the only way, okay, but the easiest way is to really, 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 really do it in one place. Why? Because you're taking all the logistics out of it, right? And I don't think anyone will let me lie in this call. But for example, if you're doing it in the place, in the city where you live or nearby, by the time you do your second retreat, you have all the logistical details nailed down, right? You know where they're staying, you know what chef is working, what activities are coming, you have different facilitators, you have a driver that can pick them up from the airport. Basically, you iron everything out, right? And it's amazing because you get to run retreats. And that's it. I've interviewed so many people, right? There's a person, and he has a company called SoCal California, SoCal Retreats, right? SoCal Retreats. You can check them out. And this is exactly what he does. He does retreats in San Diego once a month, and he fills them up. And now he will implement international retreats, but it's not going to be every month international retreats, right? There is another woman, Natasha. She has done so many retreats, and she runs one retreat monthly, and she runs them internationally. But if you see her schedule, you will see that she has retreats in the same locations like 3 times a year. So she has 3 retreats in Costa Rica, for example, right? And then 3 retreats in Egypt, and 3 retreats here, and 3 retreats there. Why wouldn't she choose 11 or 12 different locations to do her monthly retreats? Because then she would need to basically be starting from scratch every single time you are choosing a new location, right? And at the beginning, it's perfectly fine because you're building your business, you're seeing where do you do it, if you like it, if you don't, you know, it really goes into the next direction. And yeah, so you need to select if you're doing your retreats locally, closer to where you live, or if you are going to do your retreats outside of where you live. And if you're going to be changing it every single time, it's going to be a different destination. I'm not saying nothing, there's no wrong answers, right? But you do need to understand that there is a difference also on the level of preparation that it requires, right? So it's just easier if you do, even if you do international, if you repeat, let's say Costa Rica, for example, right? Every year you have one retreat in Costa Rica. Why? Because people know that they can, when you're building a retreat business, you want them to know that they can come back and you're going to be there, right? So the whole point is that you get into this space where people show up and they're like, I was in her last retreat in Costa Rica. I want to go back. Or I saw she had a retreat in Costa Rica. Last time I couldn't go, but she has it again. So now I'm going, right? Does this make sense? I know it's a little bit interesting, right? This piece. So to recap, when it comes to having a retreat business, you need to first define if your retreat is an add-on offering or it's your core offering. From there, you need to figure out if you're going to be running retreats that are locally based, you know, close to you in the same location every single time and people come to you, or you are going to do them in an international or out of the city location, you know, kind of like giving more opportunities for people to travel. I interviewed the other day this woman who also is running very, very successful retreats, right? And she was saying that her name is Natanya, out of N's. Anyway, I was interviewing her and she said, you know what, Lainey? I love traveling. But when I want to travel, I really want to go on vacation. I don't want to be teaching retreats and working on my holidays. So I rather have my retreats here where I live, that I have amazing places to do them at that I already know, right? And then I go on vacations. I have the money and I have the abundance to go on my own vacations, right? So it is such a huge difference, right? Difference. Yes. See, Lisa, I agree. My retreats are filling up now because people who couldn't come 2 years ago are finally coming. Yeah, amazing. See, that's like okay. That's the thing about being constant, right? Of continuity, of keeping showing up and having this thing that is a thread that connects everything. So if your thread is that you are doing adventures across the world, right? And these takes people through, there's like one retreat in each continent every, like, once a month, like 7 months you have retreats, and each month is in a different continent, right? So 7, no? This is continuity. This is going to help you create loyalty, because people are loyal to the things that they know, that the things that they can rely on, right? So things that they can rely on, it's very, very important, right? Because they know you're there, and they are going to come back to you just because they know they can find you. They know where to find you, right? And they know that if they want to go in a retreat with Lisa, she will offer retreats in Puerto Morelos, right? And they will have an amazing time because they know her, and there is trust, right? There's a huge difference. And I'm going to make a question here. Why does anyone buy a program or a course from anyone? Right? It's because of their energy. It's because of who they are. They don't really care if the retreat is in the middle of the jungle or if it's in the same place every single time. They're not buying that. Those are nice add-ons, but it's not really what they're purchasing. They are purchasing the experience with you, right? They're buying the transformation. Really, that's what they're looking for, right? I don't know. Does this make sense? If it makes sense, you can type a 1 in the chat. So it's so, like, for me, it's so beautiful because it's all about energy at the end of the day. They want to choose to be with you, not anyone else, right? And I'm going to really go now and dive deep into loyalty marketing in a way, because it has a beautiful opportunity for all of us here. I will tell you all. I'm so excited. Okay, so I'm super excited to be talking about loyalty marketing now, because it's so, so powerful. And yeah, loyalty marketing. So first of all, anyone, has heard of like Marriott Bonvoy, the loyalty program? The hotel loyalty program. Well, in case you haven't, and it is one of the biggest loyalty programs for hotels. So basically what it does, it gives you points because you stay, and then you acquire different status and different levels because you are a loyal customer and you come back. And I used to work there, and I was part of the team that launched Marriott Bonvoy for Middle East and Africa. So I was super, super lucky and excited to be part of that program and to be able to launch it into so many places and learn so much about loyalty and just take loyalty into the next level. And I know how powerful it is because, loyal customers spend 67% more than loyal guests. And I know this sounds like a commercial, and I heard it, but it is true. Loyal customers spend so much more. Like that's why brands work, right? Why does people really keep buying Coca-Cola? Honestly, it's because of the emotion. It's because of Christmas. It's that feeling, right? It's not because it's healthy. It's not because it's tasty. It doesn't have anything to do with that, right? So I highly recommend that we take loyalty into consideration when it comes to running our businesses. Why that, right? Like, why loyalty and not like sales marketing strategies? because when you are creating a retreat business and you want people to keep showing up and to come back and to be here and to connect, you need to create a relationship with them. And that's what loyalty marketing is about, to be honest. It's about creating relationships with your customers. You know, like sending them a note when it's their birthday and saying, hey, happy birthday, how have you been? It's not all about selling. It's about creating this experience for people where they also feel special. You know, have you ever considered that when people are coming back to your retreats, if they have been to one retreat, they get one gift. And if they come to two, they get maybe two gifts, right? Or an upgrade of a gift, or they get a private session with you because they're your private customers. You know, they get first access before you even launch into the public that you are running retreats. How do you make your clients feel special? For me, for example, something that is very important is I like to keep a relationship with anyone who I have worked with, even if it's been for one session. Why? Because I'm in love with the success that people are making and they're having. And I want to know, I want to be in the loop. I am interested. It's not fake. I am not making it up. I am not doing it for anything like ulterior motives. I'm just excited to see people grow. And this is a beautiful part of loyalty marketing. You get to be excited for your clients because you want them to come back. And you get to do different things for them to come back, right? So as part of this, and I know it may be a little bit of a technical call, and you can always give me your feedback at the end, but we're going to be talking about life cycle marketing. And I know usually I don't go that much into like all these technical names for like marketing and campaigns and everything when I talk about retreats, because honestly, the name is not really that necessary, but I think this name really explains what it is, right? So we're going to be talking about life cycle marketing. What does life cycle marketing means? Life cycle marketing means is what is the cycle that a customer has. And usually, for example, if you see it in the hotel business, is before they even book. Life cycle marketing starts with a thought. It starts with a thought of someone saying, hey, I want to go into a retreat. That's when the marketing starts, right? They're like, I'm in the market to go to a retreat. Where should I go? Who should I go with, right? And then from there, we move into the pre-booking phase. That's the part where they're researching, right? Where they're finding out which retreat really works for them. How does that work? You know, where do you take it into the next level? How is it something that they really want, right? And in this pre-booking phase, that's where you come up at the beginning, right? That's where people gotta see your energy and your excitement. That's where people are drawn to you, right? They're like, Lisa is doing some retreats. I better check out what she's doing. You know, every time she just looks happy and nice, and you know, and you can see how excited she is when she's running her retreats. I love that she is so happy to have other people coming and showing up. That makes a huge difference, right? Because at the end of the day, as I said, people buy your energy. They don't buy the details. They don't really care if there's transportation or not. It's, you know, it's very irrelevant. It is nice to have, of course, in your description and everything, but people will buy the results. What do they want to accomplish when they come into a retreat with you, right? What is the transformation that they're getting? Or even if it's just a retreat to relax, what are they gonna, you know, go and find out or rekindle and bring back into their daily lives, right? It is so important to be able to see that in that space. So now that we are in the pre-booking phase, we go into the booking phase, right? So this is the place where people come and they actually book with you and they choose to come to your retreat. But loyalty marketing doesn't stop there. it's actually where, like, really where it starts, because that's where you start creating this relationship. Loyalty marketing, the other name to call it is CRM, that is called customer relationship management, right? So that's the other name that people know it for. And I think these words really describe exactly what it is. It's a relationship. And then how do you manage your relationship, right? So this is a place where we start talking about how do we go into every single piece of the business, thinking of it as a relationship, not as a business. You see the difference? Like, you can treat a client as a number, or you can treat them as a person. Such a huge difference, right? As a relationship that you have to nurture. How does that work when you have your emails, right? Like, do they get, once they sign up, they get a welcome email, an email that is super excited, like, oh my God, you signed up, this is going to be great, these are all the details that you need to know for now, welcome, any questions, feel free to contact me directly, and later on when you grow up, your company grows, you can have an assistant replying to these messages, right? It doesn't have to be you forever. That's okay. But how do we go through that, right? How do we move forward when it comes to these things? It is so crucial. It is very, very crucial, to be honest, in this space, because if you don't have a relationship with your clients and you don't nurture that relationship, they're going to be your clients once, and they're probably not going to come back. Even if you were amazing and you transform their lives, there's so many things out there. There's so much information, so many things happening at the same time, that it is crazy. Like, it's easy for people to find another retreat, right? So after the pre-booking phase, we have the booking phase that I just spoke about, right? And please, if you have any questions in the while I'm speaking, just you can type them in the chat and I'll answer them when I can. But just to make sure that there might be questions during the step process. I'm giving you the short version of the life cycle marketing anyway. So then you have the booking phase. They book with you, they say yes, and then you start nurturing this until the time where they come, and it's the time for what we call their stay, right? The retreat is happening, it's starting. How do you welcome them? How do you take care of them in a way that they feel special, that they feel that they are there for the right reasons, right? That they are happening and that they made the right choice. I think this is like the easiest place where we can make people very happy. Why? Because our hearts and passion is inside planning our retreats and hosting them, right? So I think this is a very, very simple step. But later on, the retreat finishes, right? And then this is the post-stay phase. And this is something that is very, very important, like for me to mention, is how do you actually take this into the next level and maybe give a post-retreat session for people to come in and ask any questions or see if anything has moved, anything has changed. How do you nurture your relationship post-retreat? You have this check-in session with them. Do you not? Do you have, I don't know, 15 minutes hot seats where they can just go ahead and book after the retreat and ask you if they have any questions or something came up that they don't know how to manage? Do you send them a PDF with a list of things that they can do to bring all these new things that they learned into their daily lives, right? How do they implement them back into the reality? All these things are so important. Nurturing the relationships is really what makes them want to come back. I have seen so many people, and me, myself, if I love a retreat, I will tell the world. I will tell the world. You have to go here. I've been to some retreats that I've loved so much that I've sent maybe at least 5 people to the retreats afterwards.
because I was just like, this is so amazing. People got to experience it. I work with I have a friend, she's a sound healer. She's amazing. She's so good and she's so much heart and, and she does amazing work and she's amazing. Every time someone asks me for a sound healer, I recommend her. I don't recommend anyone else. And it's not because she's my friend. We became friends because we met and I just really love her work. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And I recommend her all the time. Why do I do that? Because we have a relationship. But it came from a place of like the experience, right? I experienced something amazing. And then I knew I wanted to be part of that. I knew I wanted this to be part of my life. This is exactly how you want your retreat guests to feel, right? You want them to come, experience your retreat, and leave the space and be like, I'm telling all my friends because this is life-changing. And then you nurture that relationship. You can ask them, what would you like to see next time? Is there something that you would like differently? You want to try a different activity? And start seeing the threads that connect all your retreat guests, right? So at this time, I don't know if you're interested, but I will open up the space for questions. Okay. Well, okay. Okay, yes, questions. Perfect. Welcome, Michaela. Any suggestions for how to welcome them? Okay, awesome question. Right, so first, rule number one, and I'm gonna say it because it might be, like it's something that for us might be very like normal to do, but it's something that so many people forget. So rule number one, you need to greet them by their name. I know it sounds a little bit silly, but it is true. It's so important. That's the first touch point and the most important touch point when it comes to that. Right? When it comes to creating loyal guests that come back to your retreats over and over again. So you can actually create a retreat business. You need to know their names. You need to welcome them. You need to thank them for being there, right? You need to be appreciative of of them showing up, right? It's gratitude. It's a huge thing when it comes to customer relationship management. And really, this is one of the things that makes it or breaks it. The reality is that when you go into retreats, and if someone is not nice to you, or they don't really care about your existence, or that you're there and you're just another number, are you gonna come back? Are you gonna recommend that person? I don't think so, because you were another number, right? If you go, that's why I love intimate retreats more than anything else, because you really get to connect and know the people. But if you are in this space where you are in a retreat for, I don't know, I've been in retreats for 72 people. I've been in retreats for 50 people, and I've been in retreats for 6. So I've been in many, many different types of retreats. The reality is that a retreat for 50 people, you don't get to spend that much time with the retreat leader, right? Like the one I did for 50, I did get to spend some time with my friend, but because like he was my friend, right? I already knew him. But the reality is that that time that you get to enjoy, it doesn't mean that the transformation is not there, right? It doesn't mean it can't be done. He did amazing transformation. People loved it. It was so, so amazing. But he builds loyalty in different ways, right? You get a gift bag when you come. He makes questions to the audience. He engages with people during the sessions, right? And then everyone gets the chance. You know what I mean? Just welcome them, and you make sure that they have all the information, so any fear that they might have goes away. You need to be proactive. So many times when someone has to travel abroad to go into a retreat, a lot of fear comes, and it shows up as fear of like, how do I get to the airport? How do I, get to your place? How do I do this? How do I do that? The reality is very simple. That these fears are just hiding the real fear of transformation, right? But nonetheless, they are real. They're happening to that person. It's in their experience. So you want to make sure that you are taking care of them, right? But anyway, any other questions? And did I answer your question, Veronica? Michaela, I'm answering any question right now when it comes to talking about building a retreat business. So if you have any, you're more than welcome. And if not, I will do a very quick recap. Okay. So in the meantime, I'm just going to do a recap on what we spoke about this whole session, right? So we spoke about that we need to define if our retreats are an add-on offering or they're the core offering. Because when we do this, we can really focus and build a retreat business based on this. When your retreats are your core offering or one of your core offerings, right? And you really want to focus on retreats, the way it is created is very, very different, because you want to make sure that you have loyal customers coming back over and over again, right? And then from there, we spoke about how you get to choose if you want to run local retreats or if you want to run international retreats, right? There is a huge difference because the logistics change, right? There's no wrong answer, but when you're trying to create loyalty, it is easier to have them locally in the same place every single time, so people know where to find you, right? And then from there you can expand. And then from there we spoke about loyalty marketing, right? And why loyalty marketing or customer relationship management is so important. And we spoke about the life cycle marketing, right? So what happens when people pre-book, like, before they book, when they are in this phase where they're finding out what they want to do? What happens when they book with you, right? What is the welcome experience that they get? Do they get an email? Do they get a phone call? Do they get a free consultation beforehand? Do they get a group call to prepare for the retreat, right? Where maybe they even get already a little bit of homework here and there, so they can start prompting themselves into the next retreat, right? Then what happens in the experience? How do you make sure that they feel special, that they feel loyal, right? We spoke about how loyal customers spend 67% more than non-loyal customers, right? So they are more keen to upgrading. They are more keen to adding additional sessions. They are more keen to so many other things, right? And then we spoke about what happens after the retreat finishes, right? Like, how do we nurture these relationships so they want to come back? So then they want to refer you to their friends, right? So how do they become your spokesperson, right? How do they become your best public relationships team? It's so important. It's free advertising in a way, right? And I know it sounds very technical, but it's true. I've taken some courses. I said I went to some retreats. I tell everyone about them. I do, because it was such an amazing experience. I want other people to experience it. I want them to be part of it. I want them to see the transformation that I was able to get. Like, I remember there was this huge retreat that I went. It was called the Human Voice with a teacher. His name is Daniel Prieto, and he does this technique where first day you do movements and you just do it all in silence, and then next day for a couple of hours you can just do this, like, I don't know how you call them, but this breath, like, and you're moving through this breath, and then you start bringing voice out of you, right? And there's movement exercises, and there is some kind of like, there's massages in the back, so you can, there's padding in the stomach, so the energy of your voice starts moving around. I always used to say that I couldn't sing because I broke windows, so I would never sing, not even in the shower. I stopped for many years, more than 10. And at the end of this retreat, I was doing some notes that I had no idea were inside of me. I was able to move my voice through my whole body. It was liberating. It freed me from 10 years of self-judgment. 10 years. It was huge. I loved it so much, right? And I'm like now in tearful mode because I like really, really enjoyed it. I loved it so much. I couldn't stop telling people about it. And I know so many people now that they go with him. They have tried his retreats because I just couldn't stop talking about him. He changed my life. His retreat changed my life. That container of people, every single person that was there was part of my transformation. So I tell everyone about it. Not about making money, not about anything else. It's about being honest about something that happened, right? And having this experience that was just absolutely life transforming. But honestly, yes, yeah, Lisa, yeah, he's amazing. He's amazing. But I have to say, if he had a system, and he does retreats all the time, like even he does retreats in France and he does retreats in Mexico. That's the main places where he does them, right? But if he had a system where he got my email, my phone number, and he sent me a message, I don't know, a couple of months later, hey, I'm having another workshop, you want to come? I would have already gone. Honestly, I'm going back, but I haven't decided on the date. It's just like every time he has one, I have something to do, right? So it's not working, but I'm going back. But if he had the system, to nurture these relationships, even if it's through email or, newsletters or a Facebook group or WhatsApp group, anyway, it doesn't, like, honestly, there is no right answer for this. I'm telling you, he would have so much more people coming back to his retreats, because the way I felt was not only me, it was all the people who were there. They also changed and transformed, right? So this is what you want to accomplish when you have a retreat business. You want to accomplish people who are shouting to the world, you're gonna go spend some time with Lisa. You're gonna go spend some time with Veronica or Micaela. You want to change your life. You want to go on a retreat. Don't look anymore. This is the only choice. This is the only option. This is the best one, right? I even talking about him and I didn't do his retreat. See, this is exactly what we're looking for. This is why I love loyalty marketing. Honestly, I think I should teach more about this all the time. In all fairness. So, yeah. Yeah. Word of mouth is one of the best things, the best marketing ever. Really, it's great. When you're in a place where you're looking to create transformation, it's just such a game changer. You never know what incentives to give to people. I will talk more about it for sure. We have a couple of minutes left, so if you have any questions, you can put them in. I really honestly, I wanted to teach another session again, and I'm so excited just to be here. There was a lot of technical problems, and I was just like, oh my gosh, no, really. I was so excited. So many people signed up for the class, but then I had a mess with my systems, right? This is not great. It's not great in the space for loyalty marketing, right? Because people are like, oh my gosh, the time is so weird. But I will show up at 11 again, and I'll talk again to whoever joins, because honestly, I'm just so grateful that you are all here. But the reality, and something that is so important when it comes to, hi, Michaela. See you now.
Hi, Eleni. I just wanted to say thank you so much. I joined later, but it's so beautiful what you just said.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm just about to host my first retreat, and
amazing.
I have a lot of fear and like, should I do it alone or with somebody, or so it's really like helping me to believe in myself, because this is exactly what I want to bring, the transformation to the people. And thank you. Yeah.
Yes, it's so important. It's all about, like, honestly, it's all about creating transformation, and everything else is just these pieces that come in place. See, everyone is already cheering for you. See? But look, I'm going to give you in the chat a link to book a 30-minute call with me, and then we can have a chat, and then you can tell
Okay.
me about it, and we can just have like a coffee meet, we can just meet for coffee online, right? And then
Beautiful.
I think I wrote it right. But,
Okay. Is there a recording from this one or no?
no, but I will give another session. No worries. I'll send you the information.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So I have a question. You said
Yes.
to do the retreat in one country.
Well,
Is there some specific reason or?
Yeah, so basically what we were talking about is, if you want to run a retreat business, right, where your core offering is retreats, like the main thing, like the people, like, let's imagine it's a door, right? You have, like, in your business has 1 door, 2 doors, 3 doors, but it has a couple, like at least one door. There's the door where you want your people to come through. So if that is retreats, right, if you want to be known for, like, one of your core offerings being retreats, then the idea is that you choose either to do international retreats, like they change, then it's okay. But if you do them in one location and you choose to, like, repeat the venue or the location, maybe not even the venue, but the location, it's just so much easier. Because like the first time you do it, you have to do all the research, you have to go through all the process of, like, finding a chef, the facilitators, transport, etc., etc. And basically, when you want to really grow a retreat business, then you just get to copy paste, right? The next one, because you already did all that. If you were doing it in a different location you get to rinse and repeat. Exactly. So, because if not, the thing that happens is that at the end of the day, you have to start all over from scratch. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
I understand.
Right? And you don't want to be exhausted when you're running your first couple of retreats, right? You want to be exciting and joyful. And then later on, yes, if you're not doing so many retreats at the beginning, it's okay. And you can do one in one location and then in another, but then the next year, then you repeat those locations. And then I don't think anyone, like Lisa, for example, here, she runs retreats in Mexico once a year, and she comes for a couple of months to Mexico and she runs retreats. And it's amazing because she has everything ready, no? Like now she just basically rinses and repeats. And now the people, and she just said earlier, you know, the people who weren't able to come 2 years ago are now coming to her retreats, right? Because now they can do it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Of course, I'm happy to. Make sure you book a call and then we can have a chat, and then you can tell me all about your retreat. And then yeah, and then Lisa, I know you were mentioning about the incentives to give people. There are different types of incentives, right? So first of all, once you start growing your retreat business and it gets very, very busy, first of all, you can even just offer that they get first access to your retreat, right? So they get more dates to choose from, they get more options. So that's something that is great. Also, incentives can be monetary incentives, right? So you can give a coupon for for the people who have come before, but you can also give add-ons, right? You can give a private session, a private breathwork session, for example, a private yoga session that they get. They can get a pre-retreat party session with you, right? Like, let's say if you are running, I know, for example, Lisa, you have like retreats are like for 4 people and things like this. But if you are running, let's say 2 or 3 retreats, then you have 12 people, then you can do a pre-party, and only the people who have come before, even if they're coming on different dates, you can join them in one afternoon, and you can do some like online, right? You can do some different activities, and there's that. Or you can give them like a, you know, a welcome thing. Yeah, pre-retreat VIP, exactly. I love that name. So kind of like giving this like additional experience, right? How can they connect with you? You can even give them access to talk to you and be like, this is what I want to be working on, specifically because they've been on retreats. You can also create a retreat specifically just for people who have been on your previous retreats, because it's an up-leveling offer, right? So you can be like, hey, this retreat is only for people who have come before. This makes them feel special, right? Because only because they've been your clients before, they get access to you in a different level. And you can give gift bags and so many other things, right? Like that is nice, but everything. But honestly, the reality is what you want to create is you want to create connections with them. You want them to feel special. And the way they feel special is not really that much through the monetary value. Some people do feel special through that, right? But think about, you know, the different ways we understand love, right? So many times it's just about attention, someone paying attention to you, someone like listening to what you need, right? And to why you're coming, and, you know, getting like support afterwards, right? Getting like this like chat for a little bit. It's all about creating connections, right? So all the gifts that you can do, they all have to have a way where they can connect, right? They can have something that is special that you thought of. For like, if you want to give a gift, right, it has to be something thought through. It's not just another gift that everyone else gets the same, right? But if, for example, last time when they were on a retreat with you, they mentioned that they really loved a hat, right, that they saw on a shop. Maybe maybe you can get that for them, right? Anyway, that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Nice to meet you, Micaela, in
Nice to
this
meet you.
space. And yeah, book a call and we can have a chat and see, you know, how I can help you now that you're going into the space of running your first retreat.
Thank you, Lenny.
Of course, it's my pleasure. And Veronica, thank you so much for joining, and I'll talk to you very soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.